Hello and welcome back. Now, I know I said I was going to do the brakes next, but I've got a few parts that I'm waiting on still, so in the meantime I thought I'd get cracking with the wheels. I got started stripping the back wheel down. The sprocket bolts came off easy enough, and I will be replacing the sprocket. Then I removed the carrier from the hub. Removing the rear disc started well, but inevitably I had a few bolts round off. I managed to save this one by using a dab of valve grinding paste over the hex bit. This added enough bite to avoid slipping. The last two needed some help, so I cut a slot with a Dremel for the impact screwdriver. But this just broke the bit. Then I added the second slot and tried again with a crosshead bit. Still no luck, I resorted to drilling it and using a bolt extractor, which worked pretty well. I did the same on the last bolt and then I removed the disc. Then I pried the dust seal off, removed the spacer and set the carrier aside. I prized the dust seal on the wheel out and cleaned up the hub. Shifting the spacer aside, I drove out the first bearing, then flipped the wheel before driving out the second bearing. I gave a quick wipe to clear the old grease out of the hub. Then drove the bearing out of the carrier using a large socket. Finally, I gave the wheel a bit of a clean up while I had good access. I smeared some grease on the new carrier bearing and then drove it in using the old bearing as a drift. I actually used my piston puller to help wiggle the old one out. Then the new dust seal went in. The first wheel bearing went in easily using a 36mm socket. Then I replaced the spacer before driving in the second bearing. Then the second dust seal went in. Moving to the front wheel, I had much better luck with the bolts, and they all came out nicely. I took the disc off and set it aside before starting on the other one. Now with the front wheel, it's got that speedometer clutch which sits on the left-hand side underneath the dust seal, so I removed that before getting started on the bearings. With fresh grease, bearings and dust seals fitted, it was time to clean up the brake discs. I used brake cleaner and a nylon cut brush in a drill to save on the elbow grease. At this point I also checked the bobbins booth freely too, and none were seized. It's not showroom, but it's a good deal cleaner than what it was. Time for reassembly. Starting with the front discs, and with a dob of thread lock, I torqued up the bolts to spec. Then I did the same for the rear disc with a nice fresh bolt. I put the spacer back in the sprocket carrier and fitted it back to the cush drive. Then fitted the new sprocket along with a new set of the locking nuts. All ready for some fresh tyres. Now, next time I definitely will be doing the brakes, and because I've got the 94 Model X up, there's a few adjustments I've got to make to the bike, particularly in the forks, to make it fit. See you then.